To keep or not to keep?
Hey guys, I'm Justin.
I'm Leigh.
Together we own Horrorland Media. You saw the opening credits already, or whatever we want to call them, the opening of the video. So this is a brand new episode of To Keep or Not to Keep. We've got several watches to go over. We've also got several updates to go over. We'll go over those towards the end of the episode. We'll go ahead and get into these watches. So, been 2 weeks since we've done one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 watches. Not a lot. Again, we just got back from Scarefest. Both me and Leigh have been sick. Carl is also sick. We are hoping to come to you this Thursday. So in 2 days' time, the day before Halloween, we do hope to come to you guys with our favorite movies that take place on Halloween that are not actual Michael Myers and Halloween. But we got to get Carl better enough to do that. Right now, that is the plan. So hopefully that stays the plan. But anyways, that's not what you're here for today. You're here to see what we watched and what we're going to add. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this. First up, we've got a DVD from Screen Media. This is one of those older ones that I've been picking up that I said probably never get a Blu-ray release. And that is Spliced from 2002. So we actually just watched this morning prior to filming this. This one I thought was pretty good. Personally, you've got this group of high school students, and they one of them has trouble sleeping. She sleepwalks. She's very sleep deprived, and she says that watching horror movies almost gives her a like a sexual feeling, almost like
an arousal.
An arousal, and that is almost how she gets away with sleeping, because she'll watch a horror movie right before bed. And so they wind up going to the theater to watch a movie called The Wisher. Only instead of giving her that aroused feeling, it very much scares her. And the movie is basically this guy who comes out of a tree, and if you give a wish, he will grant it, but he grants it in the most brutal way that he can. And so, she starts wishing things, and there starts being, no one believes her, because they're like, it's a character from a movie. You're hallucinating, you're whatever. And so she really has to kind of battle that, and in the end, she finally gets a friend to believe her. We won't give away the whole ending, but she finally does get a friend to believe her, and they kind of come together and play detective and figure out what truly is going on. I thought it was pretty cool. I did dislike the name of it though, Spliced. I don't feel like really... There is a scene that kind of explains the splice. It's the symbols. But they really didn't touch on that enough. So I feel like this might have hit a little better if it had been named a little different. But
I also don't think the tagline on the back of it matches.
The Ring meets Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. No, I would agree. So, but again, Screen Media 2002, they're trying to cash in on a lot of different things, because these were straight to DVD. Overall, I think I paid like $10 for this one or something like that with the shipping to get it here. I enjoyed it. $10 well spent. Personally, I vote to keep.
Okay.
Next up, I watched this one by myself. This is a Vinegar Syndrome. It's a VSA. This is Dog Tags. So I really wanted to like this film, but it fell short for me on a lot of different levels. It was just honestly kind of slow. So basically you have the soldiers, and they are tasked to go into the jungle and basically rescue these POWs. And they try to get back to the rendezvous to be picked up, and they actually get intercepted, and they are told, we're not picking you up. We need you instead to go to this location and pick up this classified information. That a plane has crashed. We need you to go pick up this classified information. But when they get there, they find out the classified information is actually a crate of stolen gold. And so they kind of become, they start fighting each other over, they're kind of crazed for the money and everything else. This one's high on story, low on action. There is some explosions and stuff in this, and it's not a terrible film by any stretch of the imagination. But again, as you can see, we're kind of filming it a little bit somewhere different. I've swapped my shelves around. I don't have just a whole ton of room for new ads. And I kind of did that on purpose, so that if I don't love it, it's kind of forcing me to have to get rid of some of this stuff. And so this one, would I ever watch it again? Probably not. So for me, going to be a vote to sell. It's not a bad film, but probably just not one I would watch again. Next up, another Screen Media, running right through these. This is Vampires Out for Blood. So this one's okay. This one has Kevin Dillon and Lance Henriksen in it. Again, another Screen Media. This is from 2000 and looks like 2003's copyright on this. Basically, Lance Henriksen is the police chief, and Kevin Dillon is works underneath him, and he is falling into alcoholism because his wife has left him, and his wife is writing books. She's a big author, and she's writing a bunch of stuff about vampires. And so Lance Henriksen tasks him with going to find this missing girl, trying to keep his mind off of stuff, and basically he infiltrates a horde of vampires, and they wind up biting him, and he becomes a vampire, and he basically has to turn to his ex-wife and try to get her to believe him. This movie takes several twists and turns with reality, I guess. Things that are perceived are not always as they seem, I guess is a good way to kind of say it. Overall, though, again, for what it is, straight to DVD, you have to look at these. These are not going to be your John Carpenter's vampires with a huge budget. I mean, I thought it was decent. The look of the vampire at the very end, like the head vampire, definitely kind of weird. He almost looks more like a demon than a vampire.
Agreed.
But, I mean, I did enjoy this one for what it was. Again, is it the best vampire movie ever? No. But we did just go over vampires a couple weeks ago here on the channel. This would have been a good one to add to that, because it's one I'm sure a lot of you probably have not seen. So, I mean, another one, again, DVD, probably will never get a Blu-ray. I mean, for me, I would vote to keep.
Okay.
Next up is a Scream Factory release. This is Deathstalker and Deathstalker 2. Again, I watched these on my own. So everyone has been, I'm sure, has been hearing about the Scream Factory debacle. Are they going out of business? Are they not? I don't know. I've got as many of their releases as I want, you know, so it just kind of is what it is. But Deathstalker here. So a lot of people like this, and actually I believe you got me actually wanting to see these, so I did order these, and we are not the same. I don't know, I didn't care for these, man. I usually like stuff like this, Sword and the Sorcerer, you know, the He-Man, stuff like that. I'm usually pretty good in stuff like that, Beastmaster. But these, I don't know. I think it has to do with the main character. He was a shitty actor. I mean, just terrible. In part one, it was Richard Heel. And to be quite honest, I didn't like part one. And to be 100% honest, I did not watch part two because it's a double feature. I'm not going to keep it for one movie if I don't like both. Again, that room is becoming ever, you know, so sought after. So for me, these 4Ks, man, they looked really good, but these are definitely going to be an acquired taste for someone who really falls hard into the sword fighting and stuff like that. For me, that's not. These weren't for me. Personally, vote to sell. We did watch this one. This is Ernest Scared Stupid. So basically, if you haven't seen Ernest Scared Stupid, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You have Ernest, and he is the descendant of the town, and basically he has been cursed for every descendant that comes in his family line will get dumber and dumber, and basically he's the dumbest of the dumb so far, and he basically works for the sanitation department, and of course Ernest in all of his movies is trying to make gadgets and do the most work for the little effort. And basically there is a troll that is awakened in a forest, and it's a horde of trolls, and they go around, and basically they are to kidnap kids from the town, and if they kidnap enough, then kind of this whole curse is unleashed on the town, and of course Ernest is right up in the middle of it. Honestly, for me, this is probably the biggest budgeted, the best looking Ernest film of all the Ernest films that are out there, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this one. I've always enjoyed this one. It's a good, just stupid, cheesy Halloween film for all ages, especially. I know Leigh, I can see her face as I'm talking. She did not enjoy this one, but I did. This is a part of my childhood. I remember watching this every Halloween with my mom and dad for several years straight. For me personally, vote to keep. Look at that face. Moving right along, the Ray Liotta film here, Turbulence from Kino Lorber. This is a Blu-ray. We did watch this. Basically, Ray Liotta is, he's been convicted of killing several people, and he swears up and down that he's innocent, and he is actually on a plane to be transported, and he gets put on there with a bank robber. And basically he tries to plead his innocence, and as time goes on, things go awry on the plane, and he find out you might not be as innocent as you thought he was, and it basically turns into the plane has to go through a storm, and there's a lot of different things that happen. It's like what Christmas Eve, I think, is when this takes place. So there's not but like 11 passengers on the plane. This one was pretty decent. Passenger 51 with Wesley Snipes, I think. There's a lot of executive decision, I think, with Kurt Russell. There's a lot of other plane films out there that do it better than this one. But for what this one was, I thought it was pretty decent. I enjoyed it for what it was. Would we ever watch it again? I'm not sure. But the Hour shelf that has all of our stuff on it that's not horror is not as full. So I would probably vote to keep this one. It's a pretty decent thriller. If we never watch it again, it may not survive when we do like a shelf to shelf and start taking stuff out to sell. But for now, I thought it was decent enough, and I would vote to keep.
Okay.
Alright, another DVD. We watched a lot of DVDs this time. Next up here, Chris Jericho and Stephen Dogg in the Shudder original that is Dark Match. This was not at all what I thought it was going to be, but I love this film. It was wrestling, so of course I enjoyed it. But basically, you have this promoter, and he runs this independent promotion, and he gets asked if he will bring his independent wrestlers to this small town, kind of a traveling show, and so he does, and you find out that this show is basically run by Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho used to be a very big name in professional wrestling, and he was known as the Prophet. And he's kind of slithered into obscurity as he started bringing cult themes and stuff like that into his gimmick. And he would just start basically having followers from every town. And essentially you find out that he's basically made this town, and it's all full of cult members that worship him. And basically they are trying to sacrifice 5 wrestlers. They need 5 bodies, and to bring apart like the end of the world, the demon, whatever. And the way that they sacrifice them is it's the 5 I'm trying to think of like the 5 earth, wind, rain, fire, and was earth, wind, rain, fire, and there was another one. Which I don't remember. But anyways, that's how they have to basically kill these people, and each one of them that dies is sacrificed in that way. This was really bloody. It was a lot bloodier than I thought it was going to be. A lot of Shudder films, sometimes they're bloody, sometimes they're not. Chris Jericho, would have liked to have seen him have a little bit more of a bigger part in this. I'm not sure exactly when they filmed this, so I don't know if he was still, doing the AEW stuff or not. Maybe, it was in between shows or something. I don't know. But I did enjoy this one. I thought the wrestling in it was cool. I thought the deaths were pretty cool and imaginative. I'd never seen anything like with the fan and, some of the fan in the ring, things that we had seen. I thought they were pretty cool for what they were, and personally I enjoyed this one. It's a wrestling horror film, so it combines my 2 loves. Of course, I'm more than likely going to like it. So I enjoyed this one personally. Vote to keep.
I would disagree, but you go ahead.
You didn't like that one?
No, not really.
Why did you not like it?
I did not like when they got to the village or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, just the way it was all very.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cultish?
Not just the cultish thing, but just like I don't know. I guess like when they were partying and the way they everything was so they couldn't remember anything. And
because they drugged them.
I don't know. I just didn't think it was that great, and I didn't think Chris Jericho was a good actor in it. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Yeah, he really wasn't a great actor. He definitely, I think, could have done a lot more. But he had a pretty small role to be as prominently featured in it as he was. I feel like they could have done a lot more with him. They
probably just didn't want to pay him.
That's very true. Next up, Severin Films. This is Dead Sleep with Linda Blair. Got this one back, I think it was last Black Friday, no, it wasn't Black Friday. I think it was the Summer Sizzler sale is when I got this one. We just finally did get around to watching it. Basically, Linda Blair is down on her luck. She's looking for a job, and she gets hired as a nurse. And she goes in, and basically this guy that she works for, the doctor that she works for, has basically tried to... he puts these people into like a deep sleep and like shock therapy, and he's trying to basically help them. And Linda Blair and
he thinks he's helping them.
He thinks Linda Blair and the other night nurse are kind of left alone one night. He's out drinking and partying at a bar, and they keep calling him, and they're like, "Hey, this patient, there's something wrong. Like he's dying. His kidneys are not functioning," and he just blows them off, and that patient ends up dying. And so it kind of sends Linda Blair off the deep end. She's a very caring person. She's very attached. And she winds up basically finding out that this was not the first death under his watch. Over the past 20 years, there's been like 40 deaths. And so it allows her to kind of dig deeper in kind of the way that they do things. She winds up going back and working underneath him to kind of infiltrate and get as much information as she could. I don't know. For me, this one was really weird.
It was weird.
I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. I don't know. I don't know that I would ever watch this one again, though.
Maybe I probably won't ever watch any of them in our stack that we're keeping ever again, so...
Anyways. I don't know. What would you vote on this one?
I mean, I liked it more than some of the others.
So you would vote to keep?
I mean, not necessarily, because, like, again, I don't think we'll ever watch it again, but we have too much crap to watch.
I don't know. I'm really torn on this one. I didn't hate it, so I am torn on like keeping it. I do have quite a bit of room back here on the Severin shelf because I don't keep a lot of Severin stuff because 9 times out of 10 I don't really love it.
Maybe we should keep it till we're sure.
So yeah, I mean, I think we might could keep it. It wasn't bad. I don't really know what I expected out of this one, to be honest. Like the deaths and stuff weren't what I expected. So I think maybe it just caught me off guard. I don't know that I'd ever really seen anything like this. You know, the way that they kind of kept them under sedation. So I don't know. It was different. I think I'll vote to keep it for now. It wasn't terrible. It's just different. All right, next up from Arrow Video, we have the 4K of The Stuff. If you are a horror fan, you have more than likely seen The Stuff. It was very, very, very big movie when it came out, almost gaining that cult, cult following, I guess you could say. Basically, The Stuff is a ice cream yogurty like substance that they find basically oozing up out of the ground like oil, and the FDA and everybody just kind of approves it because they can't test it. They can't find what's in it. They can't find any ingredients, and they're like, well, it must be okay. We can't find anything that's
natural.
Yeah, it's natural. They're like, we don't find anything that's flagging us in any way. Like, go ahead and sell it. So they bottle it or put it in a tub and sell it. And people are eating this stuff like crazy. The only thing is, basically, the stuff is infiltrating their minds. It's making them crave it. It's like that's all
they eat.
Yeah, like they're eating it breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, everything in between is they're just eating the stuff. And it's basically up to this one kid. His family has been, they eat the stuff, and he's like, I don't want any part of that. It moves. He goes to the kitchen one night to grab something to drink, and he sees the stuff move in its container in the fridge. And so he's like, I don't want any. And so he basically teams up with this ex-FBI agent or, whatever. I think he was Secret Service or whatever have you. And he teams up with him, and they basically infiltrate the stuff. And the corporation that does it and are basically trying to find out what it is and how they're going to get rid of it. Overall, I mean, I love this stuff. I've seen the stuff 1,000,001 times. I had the Blu-ray. When it came out on 4K, I bought it, of course, and sold off my Blu-ray. But I love the stuff for what it is. I don't think Leigh was a huge fan of it.
Definitely not.
The way, the stuff eventually will leave your body. Basically, after it feeds off everything that it can inside of you, it'll leave your body. It comes out of their mouths. And it's definitely weird, definitely a science fiction kind of film. But overall, I enjoy this one. The stuff, for me, most definitely vote to keep. And last up is the John Wick adjacent film here, Ballerina, from the world of John Wick. So I think when we looked it up, this takes place in between John Wick 3 and 4, correct. Which, to be quite honest, it's been so long since we've watched 3 and 4, that meant nothing to me. But basically, Ballerina is a girl and she... I'm trying to think of the story here. I'm trying to remember everything. As a child, this syndicate of people come in and kill her father. And she gets taken and she becomes a ballerina, which is basically the female version of a John Wick. They're training them to be assassins. And so when she grows up, she basically becomes...
But they have to meet certain criteria in order to
Yes.
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of her friends actually gets kicked out because she doesn't meet that criteria. Like, you have to have that, like, you can basically have no heart. You have to have that ruthless aggression and everything that goes into that. And she meets it. And so basically she winds up going and the film basically wraps around her trying to find out why they killed her father, who killed her father, and getting her revenge. John Wick, Keanu Reeves, is in this one. He's kind of trying to help lead her in a way, and I mean, without giving too much away, because this is basically a brand new film. If you like John Wick, you'll like this one. So John Wick 1 was not as far-fetched as like 2. 2 was not as far-fetched as 3 would become. This one's pretty far-fetched in some ways. But in all honesty, that's just the world we live in today with the action that we watch. So you know that it's going to be far-fetched, but it's still good. It has a really good story. It's a coherent story. And I definitely see them making more of these. I definitely see, John Wick, as Keanu Reeves kind of gets a little older and may not be able to physically do the stunts and stuff. I don't know that. I'm simply, saying as he gets a little older and they may phase John Wick out because of the physical demand, I definitely see them moving more into this ballerina film series, and maybe even more. Maybe we get different layers of the Continental, because I mean the series, the Continental, it was like a 3-part, was amazing. And so there's so much in that world to touch on. Should they choose to? I cannot talk. Should they choose to touch on it, there's so much in that world that they can. So overall, ballerina, really enjoyable. Personally, vote to keep.
Yeah, you wouldn't get a vote on that one. I would vote to keep.
You can get a vote on my own damn show.
Yeah.
Damn. So we did, that's only, again, we didn't watch very much. What we did do, though, and I'm not going to show all those, but we did go through the entire shelf that's up in another room of stuff to watch, and we wound up eliminating, just based off trailers, things that we had accumulated over the years. When we would go to McKay's and we would have extra credit, a lot of the time, and this is going to sound like I'm blaming her, but it's really not. Leigh would pick a lot of stuff based off the synopsis and like based off cover, and she would be like, "Oh, I like," we got rid of a couple that had Gerard Butler in it. She likes Gerard Butler, so she would pick movies that she had never seen, maybe with him in them. And when we got, that we just stuck them on the shelf, and some of those films have been up there literally 3 or 4 years, and we've never watched them. And so we actually took a big chunk of our weekend and just watched trailers, and wound up going through and saying that trailer just looked okay. It looks like any other love story that we've seen before, and maybe not as well done as some of those others. So we did get rid of probably 15 to 20 films that way that'll be going in our box to take to McKay's, or we may do like a DVD grab box at a convention or something for a couple bucks a movie or something. But so we did actually watch a little bit more and get through a little bit more of these than that. We also started watching the Bravado Giallo box set from Cauldron, and we started watching some of the films out of the High Tension box set from Severin. We did not get through those, so I didn't include those in this because I want to go through the box set as a whole. The Bravado Giallo box set, though, I can tell you it will be featured in the next Keep or Not to Keep, and it don't look too good for that one. The films in that one are pretty rough, which I hate to say because I waited for that box set for so long, and it looked so good when it initially came out. So anyways, though, we'll go back through the sales right quick. We are selling the 4K double feature for Deathstalker 1 and Deathstalker 2. And we are also selling Dog Tags from Vinegar Syndrome. Keeping all of the horror DVDs that we've been going through. I've been really enjoying those, and next week we will have our brand new October collection update, and there is a ton more of those DVDs in that. I've really enjoyed buying those. They're cheap. I'm not spending a ton of money on them, but they're fun to go back and revisit because a lot of that stuff predates when I started watching horror or had a horror collection of my own. So really excited to have those. That being said, like I said, later this week, as long as all of us can stay well and healthy. I think Eric is the only one that I'm aware of that hasn't been sick. Me and Leigh have been sick. We're finally about over that. Now Carl has it. I hope that he is on the mend. I think he is. So hopefully we'll be able to get together, go over those Halloween watches. We did, much to, I'm sure, Leigh's hatred, we did book another convention. Normally we end with Scarefest. That is our biggest show of the year, but in one final push to get the 8X Productions name out there, and one final push to get Mothershucker 2 out in front of people, and to make another couple holiday, make a couple sales before the holidays, we will be at Days of the Dead, Indianapolis. We will be returning there, so make sure that you grab those tickets and come out and see us. That is December the 5th through the 7th. Another reason I wanted to do that one was we did Indianapolis earlier this year. It was a good show for us, but I do know 100% for a fact we will not be able to attend their 2026 event based off of the dates. We do have a prior engagement, so we won't be able to do that one. So I did want to get back to Indianapolis, get Mothershucker 2 in front of people, because we sold a lot of part 1 there. So we will be doing that again. That is December the 5th through the 7th. Speaking of Mothershucker 2, brand new on the website, Mothershucker 2 is available for purchase. The link to the website, as it always is down in the description. Make sure that you go and pick you up a copy. Not only did we spend time though and get Mothershucker 2 listed, we got bundle deals listed. So if you see us at a convention and maybe you're running a little low on money and you can't get one of our films because maybe you put that autograph a little higher and you just have kind of run out of money, go to the website, check us out. We now have bundle deals. So you can get Mothershucker 1 and 2. You can get Mothershucker 1 and 2 plus Twisted Gables. You can get Twisted Gables and Mothershucker, Twisted Gables and Mothershucker 2. The possibilities are endless. All the bundles are up on there. They do have bundle pricing. Go check them out. Order the bundles. Give us some support, and check out what we've been doing. We've got a lot of really good feedback. Scarefest, of course, we went to last year in 2024, and we sold the crap out of Mothershucker 1, and we had a ton of people that came up and they were like, we enjoyed it for what it was. Was it a masterpiece? No, but we really enjoyed what we saw. We liked it, and they picked up part 2. So definitely come pick these up. And Mothershucker is a great film, but guys, don't forget about Twisted Gables. Do not sleep on this one. Definitely pick it up as well. So again, I think you can get all 3. I think I listed them all 3 films for $53 plus shipping. So
there are people that want to get more.
Yeah, I mean Twisted,
because it's not it's not a comedy. It's serious.
Yeah, it's very serious, and we've got, again, it's got a lot of the same cast from Mothershucker 1, but they do such a phenomenal job. They were able to flick that switch. They didn't all have to be, they could be serious when needed to be. So definitely check out Twisted Gables. This one has not garnered the love that the Mothershuckers have, and I really wish it would, because I personally really enjoyed this film, and a lot went into making this. A lot goes into making all of them, but a lot especially went into making Twisted Gables with the script and the thought process and everything. So definitely check this one out. At the time of filming this, we are about a week and a half away from filming movie number 4. So if you are local to the Brookport, Metropolis, Paducah, Kentucky area, definitely come out on November the 8th at 2 p.m. to the Harry Statham Gymnasium. We will be running a 100% free pro wrestling show. Come out and see us. The name of the show, along with the name of the movie, Descent to Chaos. It is kind of my way of giving back to one of the greatest group of guys in wrestling that I have had the pleasure of knowing. That is CPW Chaos Pro Wrestling. Just a group of brothers that all came together, and that is kind of our way of giving back to that. So definitely come, pack that gym, come be a part of a free movie. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to film that one. I'm really excited. It's going to be a hard shoot, but I'm excited to be able to get to do it. So kind of threw a lot of information at you there to wrap up this week's episode, but we haven't really been giving the information stuff because we've just been trying to get through Scarefest and get through that last little bit, but now we've booked another convention. The wheels will be rolling and turning, getting there, stock, inventory, the whole 9 yards. We'll keep churning away and knocking out as many movies as we can, and again, we will be filming movie number 4 November the 8th in Brookport, Illinois. So definitely come out if you're close to that. Come out, support us with that. So we appreciate all all, you guys. We will see you later this week for that Halloween film, episode where we're going to go over our favorite Halloween series. It's going to get you guys 4 brand new watches as we get ready to move into Halloween the very next day. We're extremely excited about that. So we'll see you later on this week on the Horrorland Media channel. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you then.
To keep or not to keep?